Meryl, thank you. School shootings have become an unfortunate reality. We've seen them in places like Parkland, Florida and Santa Fe, Texas. Now, districts here in Kansas are amping up their preparations so they're ready to protect students if an active shooter strikes.
Melissa Murray attended an active shooter training session in Newton where they learned the ALICE system. Her story leads our back-to-school coverage this morning.
It happens so quickly. It's hard to imagine what you'd do if you found yourself in the middle of a school shooting. Everardo Flores didn't know the answer to that question until he took an ALICE training at Chisholm Middle School in Newton. He's the assistant principal there, but used to work at another district. There, he was taught to hide in a classroom and wait.
When we get in a lockdown, we lock all exterior doors, and we lock the classroom doors. And we pretty much seek shelter, and we have a code. And we never truly announce what the code is for.
Flores says he felt helpless in that situation.
These active killers are known to come back multiple times.
ALICE trainer Andrea Nestor says she makes participants sit and hide for the first scenario to see what that would actually feel like.
Our natural response as human beings, even as animals, is to run when we're in danger. So when you actually have the participants of this ALICE training sitting there and getting shot, not allowed to fight back, not allowed to do anything, it's really eye-opening that that's not natural. It's very disturbing.
ALICE means alert, lockdown, inform, counter, evacuate. Flores says this training takes power away from the shooter and gives it back to the teachers and students.
Fight doesn't necessarily equate to being combative. It's pretty much fighting for your life. You're going to fight for your life. You're going to fight to survive. You're going to barricade yourself. You're going to throw chairs at the shooters. You're going to do whatever it takes to stay alive instead of just sitting there under a desk and hoping and praying to God that the shooter does not enter the classroom.
Janelle Durler drove 4 hours from Liberal to Newton to do this training. She says she wants herself and her students to know how to fight back if needed.
I work with special needs children, so when we're doing drills and the look of terror on their face that's a lot to try to take in.
Durler says she wants to give those students a sense of control.
I felt like I had some sort of control into it instead of just sitting there staring at the person coming.
Flores says ALICE isn't a fix-all solution to a complex nationwide problem. Nestor says it's about having options and fighting back.
ALICE is really empowerment. It's giving people the permission to do whatever is necessary to save their own life if they're in danger.
Now, that training also involved participants from area law enforcement agencies and hospitals, as well as a few other groups. So this training, this ALICE training, is not just for schools. The ALICE training instructor tells me that she wants everyone to know that this kind of training can be for anyone who wants to save their own life in an active shooter situation.
Melissa, before we let you go, I have a question for you. Watching the video, it felt pretty realistic, but you were there. What was it like watching this scenario?
Well, for that first scenario, they actually had me hide behind a desk with some of those participants. You may have seen that in the video. And I think I almost lost track of what I was supposed to be doing because I was scared right along with them. I wasn't really focused on my video. It did seem very real in that scenario that we were doing. Now, for the other ones where they were able to fight back, I followed along instead of participating. But it was very eye-opening to see what that is like to have to just sit in the classroom and wait.